Hello and welcome to a GiBi free version of Week in Weird. That's right, you don't get to see my face this week. This show's been going on for less than a year, and unfortunately that means that it has growing pains. I have now several times run into the issue where it is just getting far too hot for me to use my camera for long periods of time in my recording studio. It actually will overheat and then refuse to turn back on, so that's great. So that means that this version of Week in Weird is audio only. Anyway, welcome to Week in Weird, where we're gonna go over 3 headlines from the past week and try to distract ourselves from the terror of the outside world. With that said, our first story is actually pretty terrifying in and of itself. A violent R-rated Winnie the Pooh horror film is in the works. In case you somehow missed the news, a couple of months ago, Winnie the Pooh entered the public domain. I believe something like 70 years after a work's original creator dies, it enters the public domain. And if that work is owned by a corporation, then there's a different number of years. And so the original book, Winnie the Pooh, entered the public domain at the beginning of this year. The Disney version that you might be aware of, the yellow version that's actually on screen now, this version is actually not in the public domain, but the original sketched illustrations from the novel and the stories and the characters are. That means that anybody can make a movie or a book or whatever they want using the characters and concepts from the original work. And of course, the first thing that someone's doing is making an R-rated horror movie out of a beloved children's icon because originality is dead. Winnie the Pooh may be one of the most lovable and beloved characters in the entirety of the Disney collection of films, shows, and entertainment experiences. The yellow bear has become an icon for families across the world, along with his friends like Piglet, Kanga, Roo, Tigger, and Rabbit, who all live in the 100-acre woods. However, a sinister take on the character is being worked on for a new upcoming film. The film is described as a horror retelling of the famous legend of Winnie the Pooh. The film, entitled Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, is directed and written by Rise Frake Waterfield, and will star people that I've never heard of before. The film is an indie production and is currently in post-production. The original Winnie the Pooh book came out in 1925, and thus its rights expired this year. And now, of course, we're gonna look at some pictures from the film. You got Pooh, and you got Piglet, and you got a scantily clad woman. And you got pop-ups. Equally as terrifying is a story about 15,000 pounds of hot dog filler that catapulted onto the roadway following a truck crash. Police say the driver lost control of the semi-truck, and after the truck overturned, the filling spilled out. This is grotesque. I feel sorry for anybody who is looking forward to eating hot dogs on Memorial Day. We're already having supply chain issues. Oh lord. The truck driver probably didn't relish the situation. Making bad jokes at the expense of the story is my job, okay? Tampa Bay WTSP website, CBS affiliate. Both people inside the truck had minor injuries and refused medical treatment, so that's good. No one was actually hurt except for the people who have to clean up this enormous mess. The drivers faced numerous citations. They basically hit a tree and it caused the meat to start sloshing around so much that it broke open the back and then, spilled everywhere. That is just horrendous. That's disgusting. Our final story of the week, and yes, there are actually only 3, also revolves around a movie. This one's a little funnier, though. Apparently everyone in the world is obsessed with Top Gun Maverick. I don't really get it. I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan. I've never seen the original. But if the crowds at the movie theater I work at are any indication, then, everyone and their grandmother has seen this movie now. So last week, the director of the movie spoke about the movie's astonishing practical effects, and how one shot could only be filmed a single time because it literally destroyed the set that they built. There was a lot of talk before the movie came out about how all of the stunts using the planes were practical effects, meaning that there were actual pilots in the planes, they had the actors kind of in the back seat so you could see them in the camera, and that all the stunts were real. But the director specifically said, the scene where the stealth plane flies over Ed Harris destroyed the set. So that's this gif right here. See, it just blew away the roof of this little building. Hold on. Whoosh. You watch it rip off the roof of the guard shack. That was not planned. That was a one-take thing where we destroyed the set, and that's the only shot we got, and that's in the movie. They don't give context for how many times they would usually do a take, but they did say that they shot about 800 hours of footage for the movie. The movie, of course, ended up being 2 hours, like a normal movie. Thank you for watching this episode of Week in Weird. You can follow me on Twitter at GiBi_Devin. Very early next month, I will be releasing a video talking about Chris Chan's newest exploits if you'd like to hear about those. The names scrolling by are, of course, my patrons, and if you'd like to have your name on here too, you can join them by following the link in the description. During this part, I usually talk about the movie that I saw this week, and because I didn't see Top Gun, you might be able to ascertain, infer, guess that I saw Bob's Burgers, and I really liked it. Didn't know it was going to be a musical going into it, but I actually really enjoyed their songs. One of them still stuck in my head. It kind of suffers from long episode syndrome, where movies of TV shows are basically just long episodes, but at the very least, it is not a road trip movie, which puts it ahead of a lot of TV show movies, including the Simpsons movie. I very much enjoyed Bob's Burgers. Then again, I'm a fan of the show, so I kind of knew what I was getting going into it. I don't know how normal people would feel going in and being greeted with the awkwardness that is the style of comedy used on that show. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.